This is Crota coming at you in the middle of the night. It is currently 12 o'clock here in California, midnight. And I know a lot of you guys are out there wondering why in the world I am currently streaming at such a late hour. There is a reason for the madness, and hopefully you guys are going to be enjoying this. Now, if you guys didn't know, I was at Blizzard headquarters not too long ago, and that was a really fun event. And now I can finally tell you guys why I was out there. I was out there because of a press invite. Yes, we do finally have more details on Heart of the Swarm, at least a single player campaign, and things are definitely looking up and up. So without further ado, I would like to present to you guys the opening cinematic of Heart of the Swarm. Currently there's only 2 people watching, including me. Hopefully more people will join, or then again, some of you guys may decide to watch after this video gets posted. So hopefully there will also be a little bit more Q&A. Otherwise, the Q&A is going to be very short, and then I'll have to respond to a lot of comments. Please enjoy. You know what, might actually help if I had the microphone unmuted. So yeah, just letting you guys know, and that was not the opening cinematic. That was just a single player campaign. A lot of what we were going to expect from the new Heart of the Swarm update that's just coming up around the corner. Let's take a look at the opening cinematic.
realms will be shattered. Worlds will burn. Now at last, on this world, vengeance shall be mine. For I am the Queen of Blades.
Heart of the Swarm. Okay, first of all, that cinematic trailer, the first time I saw it, absolute, like, Zergasm nerd chills. That was perhaps one of the best opening cinematics that I've seen, and it really started to get me excited to watch Heart of the Swarm. Now, Heart of the Swarm, there's a lot to see, and I'll go through some of the screenshots that they showed me, and I'll go ahead and tell you about them as well. Please ask questions. I'll get to them during the Q&A session. First of all, James, the burrow units are the Widowmine. If you haven't seen the beta already, go ahead and check out my live streams. Widowmines are very effective, at least in early game, trying to hold your opponent or trying to defend as well. So the screen that you're looking at right now, this area right here, is basically the command screen similar to the bridge on the Hyperion for Wings of Liberty. The main people that you need to talk to are here. You can navigate around, and also if you take a look in the background actually changes depending on what planet you are on. So it gives you a little bit more of a feel as you're landing on a planet, because that Leviathan actually lands on a planet, and you get to take a look at what's happening on the planet. The scenery does change a bit, so a little bit more exciting than being stuck on that spaceship the entire time. Now, this is a screenshot of the Evolution Pit. The Evolution Pit is similar to, I believe it was the Armory in Wings of Liberty. You get to see all of the Zerg units that you collect. In this shot, you can see the Zergling, the Roach, the Baning, the Hydralisk, and you see Abathur in the middle. Abathur is essentially your Swain. He tells you about certain upgrades. He tells you when you have evolution missions, things of that nature. If you guys have any questions, and you guys are watching this not on the live stream, make sure to check out SELegacy.com. The people, my friends over at SE Legacy, they wrote up a lot of articles to just really go in depth at what I was able to play and what I was able to experience back last Thursday. Moving further along, screenshot of just the Leviathan in space. The Leviathan is Kerrigan's personal ship. She's able to travel through the sector, and the Leviathan will eventually does land on the planet, and then Kerrigan goes out and joins missions. Kerrigan has a much more hands-on role in this game than Raynor did in the previous campaign, where you only played maybe 1 or 2 missions as Jim Raynor. Kerrigan is in every mission. She is very useful. She's very powerful, and I believe it is. I would say it's nearly impossible to beat the missions without Kerrigan on the battlefield on Brutal. Moving right along. Oh, um, this is just Lasara. This is a Protoss character that you're going to run into. I don't want to spoil too much, but you already saw screenshots of it earlier during the B-roll footage. Kerrigan captures Lasara and then injects her or um, injects her with this Zerg larva that becomes important later on in Zerg missions. Let's go ahead and continue moving along. Now, one of the things that I didn't like about the original Heart of the Swarm campaign preview back in 2011 was that the game felt like Wings of Liberty with a Zerg skin. It didn't really feel like a Zerg campaign. They just completely put Wings of Liberty and then put a Zerg skin on it and then try to sell it as Heart of the Swarm. And a lot of the press there, at least a lot of the fan press, didn't really buy it. It didn't really feel Zergy enough. You didn't really feel like you got to know what it meant to be in the heart of the swarm, so to speak. This time around, and as opposed to finding Zerg bucks, finding genetic material and then choosing between two evolutions, the game now Abathur now tells you, hey, Abathur now unlocks evolution missions, and evolution missions allow you to evolve your banelings or evolve your zerglings, evolve your hydralisks and roaches into better and more powerful units overall. So very, very strong units, very, very strong upgrades that will not be seen in the multiplayer. Those of you who are concerned that banelings that can jump up and down cliffs might be a little bit broken, that is the Baneling on the right. Those Banelings will not be introduced into the multiplayer, but they are a lot of fun to use. Moving right along, Kerrigan, since she is involved in every mission, Kerrigan has to grow and she has to level up or quote unquote evolve as well. So at the start of every mission, or at the start of any mission at any time, you can change Kerrigan's abilities. Now, if you want a full detailed mapping of all of these abilities, once again, head over to the SE Legacy website. This is just a screen. I don't know if it's the final screen, but this is just a screen showcasing what you can do with Kerrigan, how she can level up, how she can get stronger, and levels. Every level gives her more hit points, more energy, more damage, or more armor. And then at critical levels, say level 10, 20, 35, 50, 60, she gets to unlock new additional spells as well. So that's going to be very important. Moving along, in addition to the evolution missions where you have a major evolution, Heart of the Swarm also introduces minor evolutions that you can interchange in between missions. Every unit that we saw has 3 options for different types of minor evolutions. And for this result, I believe it was Rupture, the explosion radius is increased by 50%. Regenerative Acid, not only does the splash damage deal damage to your opponent's units, it's also they also introduce Zergling transfusion material into the Baneling as well, so the Baneling heals your own units upon that splash damage. So not only do the Banelings destroy your opponent's stuff, it also heals your own stuff. Really, really interesting concept. Really like it. Make sure that your Banelings don't all of a sudden die too quickly, and they're able to continue to roll on. So very nice there. Please please ask me more questions. I will get to them at the very end, and hopefully I will be able to answer more and more. What is this? This is Kerrigan speaking with Zagara, one of the brood mothers that you're going to be introduced to. If you guys notice, Kerrigan is not 100% human, and I'm assuming from what we've seen that as the game progresses, she will become more and more Zerg-like. I don't know for sure. Dustin Browder, Chris Metzen, Chris Siggety, they didn't really unlock or expand upon why her hair is like it is, the tendrils, but that is going to be something we're all going to be experiencing come March. Isha, if you guys remember Isha is a formulation of all of the Queen of Blades memories when she was the Zerg, before she got turned into this human hybrid. If you guys don't know that, you should definitely check out the SC Legacy website. There's a lot of information out there about the previous campaign or the previous invite, and there's just more details there as well. That really hasn't changed. Just a nice close-up of Zagoro. This is Abathur. Abathur is essentially the Swain in in Heart of the Swarm. He helps controls all of your evolutions. He'll give you advice. You can talk to him, and he basically explains whenever there's an evolution mission what you can do, how you can evolve the strand. Are you going to do a playthrough of the campaign? Yes, I thought of the campaign now being loaded up for you. This is an example of one of the major evolutions that you can have. This was, I believe, Swarmlings. Now, Swarmlings, you have the evolutionary choice of either having Zerglings spawn in groups of 3 instead of groups of 2, and I believe they are instantaneously trained as well. So they train up much more quickly, and you can just swarm your opponent very, very quickly. Very, very, very useful in the game. If you don't like swarmlings, you can also have the choice of I believe raptorlings. These raptorlings have wings enough that they can actually jump up and down cliffs, similar to reapers. On top of that, the raptorlings also have the ability to jump and attack behind a marine. So if the Zerglings are swarming too much and the raptorlings, or the raptorlings in the back can't get to their target, they can actually jump over the raptorlings that are in front of them and start attacking from behind. So a very, very useful feature there. Here is another example of the major evolutions. This is the Splitterling. Every time a Baneling explodes, 2 Banelings come out once more, and those Banelings can also explode as well. So that's just a continuation of how strong those Banelings can be. So just think of it, 1 Baneling explodes, and then you have 2 more Banelings inside that those can explode as well. They deal damage, and it just shows just the power of the crushing waves of Banelings that can come into the game. Very useful, but I think most of the players out there will really be interested in the Hunterlings. If you thought Zerglings jumping up and down cliffs were a little bit overpowered, imagine Banelings jumping up and down cliffs. The Banelings in this screenshot here, you can see that the Banelings are up on the high ground and they're able to jump onto the low ground, attack the planetary fortress, get by all of that defense that is actually at the front of the ramp to destroy that base. So very, very, very useful. Just able to completely destroy a Terran infiltration without having to worry about the front defense there. Moving right along, let's take a look at some of the other missions as well. One of the missions that we played was showcased back in 2011, so I wasn't too excited to play that. It was the one where you're on a planet, there's frost, and things just get frozen over a timer. And if you guys didn't see that mission, go ahead and definitely check it out. SC Legacy's website will have all of that detail there. I'm hoping. Come on, K-Drac, Gifted, LOA, don't let me down. And on top of that, it was just a very, very vanilla mission, but it was a mission that they worked already so hard on, and I understand why they included it. Moving forward, there is additional missions where the 3 missions that we got to play, they were all in sequence. So the next mission, the Protoss, instead of trying to get a signal back home, the Protoss are now trying to send a ship back home. And in sending the ship back home, your job is to try to intercept these Protoss shuttles from getting back home. If you notice, the Protoss shuttle is currently getting attacked by Kerrigan. Kerrigan has this really strong lightning attack. Those of you guys who are Brood War fans, I know it doesn't look like a Protoss shuttle, but they tell me that it is. So yeah, that's Kerrigan. Her attack is like a combination of like the Archon animation and like her psionic lightning animation. Her attack gets more powerful as she levels up. Right, in the levels that we played, it was kind of underwhelming, but she has really, really powerful abilities that are able to like crush, deal 300 damage, or be able to stun or knock up units and deal damage over time. Like almost like a combination of fungal growth, except for it actually took the unit out of play for 3 seconds. Really interesting. moving forward, this by far was my favorite mission that they showcased at the Heart of the Swarm press release. Um, this really showed me that Blizzard understood and was really trying to show me what it meant to be Zerg. In this mission, let's see. In this mission, this is the one where Lasara, the Protoss unit that you saw earlier, all of a sudden explodes, and then you see a single larva there. You're like, what's going on? If you guys remember the B-roll, that you on this mission start off controlling one single larva, and as you progress through the mission, you're on this Protoss ship that has a whole bunch of different types of life forms across the galaxy. Um, like, I don't know quite what to call it, a zoo, a menagerie, don't quite know. But what this larva is trying to do is you're trying to survive. You're just trying to survive and take over the ship. And as you evolve or as you consume all of these animals and all of these critters and all of these life forms on the ship, you eventually gain enough biomass or enough genetic material or enough carbon or however the Zerg are able to replicate to become a brood mother who is able to create Zerglings, roaches, and Hydralisks on this ship. So it has this sense of feel where in the beginning of the game, you're this really weak larva who can get killed by a zealot in 2 swipes. And then as you progress, you become and you evolve and you start swarming this ship and taking control of the ship. And it really showed what it meant to be Zerg. I think this was really the flavor that Blizzard was promising back in 2011, and it really showed me hoping. It really showed me that they really wanted to make this a better game and really show us what it means to be Zerg. Continuing on, let's see. Is that it? Oh, that is it. So that's actually all the screenshots I have. They also sent us screenshots of the new BattleNet, the new victory screen, the new leveling up system. All of those things have been really featured already on the web. So if you guys want to take a look at them, you can take a look at my live streams. You can take a look at other live streams out there, professional players, see what they're doing. I'm going to go ahead and do another quick refresh. If there's no questions out there, then I guess I don't have to answer any. And if I don't have to answer any, I will be heading home for the night because it is at this moment 12:23 in the morning and I am rather tired. So I'll stay online for the next another 5 minutes or so for the 16 people who are watching. Answer any questions. If there's none, then I will get going. But I want to thank you guys all for watching. Stay tuned for more information. I have put up those 2 separate videos as well on my YouTube channel if you wanted to go ahead and take a look at them. You know what? I'm gonna show the opening cinematic just one more time. If no questions show up, I'll be logging off. Thanks.
I am the swarm. Armies will be shattered. Worlds will burn. vengeance shall be mine. For I am the Queen of Blades.